All right, so yeah, the final episode of Attack on Titan was out, and I'm pretty sure everyone's making a video on that. Let's just talk about Aaron's dead. Yeah, she's dead, and then Mikasa's crying. Are you fucking kidding me? This girl's crying. Oh my god. Now, I think I should stop simping on Mikasa and then actually work on what I want to say in this video because this is probably my first video with my voice. Anyways, before we go and talk about that, finally, the end of Attack on Titan for the past 10 years, I believe, or I think 13 years to be more precise. Um, Attack on Titan has been running and airing on TV and whatnot over there, and I'm pretty sure almost the entire anime kingdom has watched this particular piece of anime. Now, the specialty of Attack on Titan, at least in my opinion, is like the amount of surprises you can get and how confusing the story can be. Right? I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just like it's confusing. The word's confusing, but I mean, hell, what of a good episode! Like if the writer, if Hajime took around, I don't know how many years he actually took it. I'm just gonna quickly Google it. How many years did it take to write? Oh my god, I'm so bad. 11-year publication. Wow. Bro, we within a span of 11 years, if you can go ahead and plan all of these, I mean, it's peak fiction. It's peak fiction. If you can actually think out and put all of these, this is peak fiction. But anyways, before I actually go and review this thing, because I'm in no position to review an anime, at least at this point, what I think. I've watched the episode at least twice now. Like I've watched the ending, both part one and part two twice. Throughout it. I actually just watched it, like I rewatched it today, so I'm just like kind of making this video right now because everything's just in my mind. So moving on to this, I want to just talk about the ending of Attack on Titan because again, this is the part where most of the confusion, if it does arise, will arise because we see two particular scenes that are very very important here. I think like we should be talking about them. One of them is going to be the scene where Eren is with Mikasa, and then this, okay, I'll be honest with you. Honest with you. I nearly cried in the scene. This was not the scene I actually cried in, but I nearly actually cried. The reason why I did is because, well, this scene actually kind of like tells Mikasa what's gonna happen in the future. Like she doesn't remember it at this point, but she's gonna remember it as soon as like kind of she wakes up or something after Eren dies. And this scene has a very specific significance to the entire story on how Eren knew everything. He knew what the burden to keep on this, and then the entire fate of the show depended on the decision of Mikasa Ackerman. Now, the next scene that's also very important after Eren's death is Eren's talk with Armin. Armin, whilst being on the ship or on the sea when he was actually traveling to kind of, let's say, kill Eren, that's when Eren took time to go and talk with Armin and then just express whatever he had in his mind. And then, like the dialogue of the century in anime is that I guess we'll meet in hell. All right. Now, any part of that, I just want to go and explain really shortly what happened. Okay, this is my interpretation of the entire ending, and I just want someone's opinion on this. I'm not gonna give you a review of this anime because, well, you can take it with a grain of salt. But I do plan to review the entire. I'm not probably going to review, but kind of summarize the story in my format, I guess. But let's go and talk about this ending. Well, while Mikasa is on top of Falco on the final stage to put the final attack or to put the final blow, um, she has a vision where she is somewhere, like she and Eren actually ran off somewhere after their visit in Marley. Okay, this is taking place in some sort of a completely alternate world, a completely parallel world, where he and Mikasa are the only one. I think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then this is where kind of Aaron tells Mikasa about, well, to forget about him after he dies. This scene totally portrays that what Aaron wanted to tell Mikasa about. So I'm just gonna watch it and then probably. Now, in this particular scene, Eren actually laments that if he wished that he could actually move away with Mikasa and then all living with this. Like, this is a clear indication that Eren loved Mikasa a lot. And then I'm pretty sure if she actually remembered this, I don't know, like the whole story would go in a different point. Okay. So this is the first vision that he has. He has a vision with Mikasa, like, he talks with Mikasa in whatever the portal they're in. And then Aaron says that he's got enough plenty of fish for dinner, and then yeah, they can just kind of hide here and then spend the time and the rest of the day without anyone. And he also claims that Armin is probably looking for them, but here they are. Only these two people actually exist in this world. And after this, actually, Aaron says that, well, probably if they were running away or probably fighting bad, they would ultimately be killed by, the island keepers and whatnot. And yeah, it's technically true. But also, Aaron makes Mikasa promise that, well, if you survive, which you are going to be, just throw away the scarf. Don't remember about me. And then the scene shifts to Armin. Now, this is the part which is very confusing. If you've never read the manga, because I have read the manga before I watched the anime, and I would say the anime was way more clear and more expressive compared to the manga. So it was a lot easier to understand. But if you still didn't understand it, or if it's difficult to understand, it's just basic. Well, Aaron and Armin like Aaron actually took Armin to his vision to that portal where all the Eldians are actually connected, and they have a conversation. Now, this conversation occurs way before at like the very start of the series. The very start of the series. Okay, one of the conversations it starts with is that why did Aaron have to beat Armin to a pulp? And then this conversation continues to the very starting of how the anime, kind of started, which is by killing Aaron's mom. And then he says that, yeah, I killed my own mom, like just for the story to start, because, well, this is how Ymir, the founder, had actually kind of envisioned it. This is something that was pretty much envisioned from the very start. Ymir never tells Aaron that what her true intention actually is. And Aaron doesn't know it as well, but Aaron does know the outcome of the future that he just saw with its attack Titan powers. And just for the story to start, the very first thing he needed to do is kill his parents. Okay. Fair. Sounds fair. Like he personally says that he allowed Bertolt to kind of re. Oh my god! Like, are you just kidding me? And then right after he says that, okay, right after he says that, I think he says that in 1 hour past 9 seconds or 9 minutes. If I'm not sure, I think it's something like that. I think I'm going to be playing it and then kind of singing it in the video. And then he does apologize to Armin that like he was pretty much crazy. He needed to fulfill this mission in order for to create his own free world where there is no chaos, no war, or no fight. This was the only way to achieve it. But first, destroying everything and then just restarting. It's kind of like a Code Geass vibe, if you ask me. Like I'm getting the vibe, but anyways, he needed to kind of restart the entire thing. So this was the only like this is the only thing, this is the only path. Aaron says the founder's power had made it such that there's no past or future. Okay, this actually shocked me because I've read the manga back in 2019. Like, I finished the manga back in 2019. I think it was around 2019 or 2020. It's 2023. It's been 3 or 2 years, and I've forgotten everything. Trust me, I've forgotten everything. Now, I forgot this scene existed in the manga. I don't know if it even existed, but I forgot about it. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that if it did exist, like let me know, or kind of, yeah, just put it down in the comments and people will know it. And then he killed his mom. Okay, that day after Berthold's transformation, Berthold was supposed to die, but Aaron has the power of the founder. He has got like the power of the founder. He's connected to every single thing. That means he's in the past, he's in the present. He has decided a ton of things. Now, when his mom was actually dying, by that time he had actually already received his attacking powers, because I think before that he had already transformed into Titan and already had eaten his dad, and then suddenly the wall broke, and I think that's how season 1 started. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that day he made the Titan go towards his mom. That was the starting of the show. People thought that Aaron's only job was to like planned the future. He literally started the show. He wrote the entire thing. Like he is Hajime. He wrote the entire thing. Okay, let's just skip this. And the most funny part about it is like I kill my mom. All right, Aaron falls in a little bit of depression over here, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then okay, never mind. I did kill my mom, and then they move on to talk about the conversation about Mikasa, and then Armin gets angry, and then it's him. This doll. Okay, this doll, I'm just gonna call him doll because this doll punched freaking Aaron. And then Aaron starts crying. Okay, this is the scene where I would say I actually cried. All right. This this serious face, this piece of bumpkin. Oh my god. Oh, like Aaron truly loved Mikasa. Are you kidding me? Okay, this is the most depressing part of the entire anime. The most depressing part. Trust me, no matter whoever says to me what, the entire story, I think I'd focus on this particular part. It's the most, oh my God, it was the most saddest part. I think, I don't know if saddest is a word, but it was the most saddest part that ever existed in the entire show. I think this is the second anime that made me cry after Code Geass. Okay. Blame me or not, I did cry seeing Code Geass. Yes, I did cry. And this is like the second one. I'm actually getting goosebumps while filming this video because I'm actually watching the episode and talking because I didn't script this video or anything. I just want to try out YouTube, so I'm just doing it for the sake of it. But he wants Mikasa to be hung up on 10 years. And then they talk about that did Eren had any other choice. So this is the main part of it. Ymir had its entire plan up to date. No matter what path Eren tried, Eren says that the only way is to slaughter humanity. This is the only path he had found, and the only path, no matter what path he had taken, he would end up slaughtering 80% of humanity. And then Armin says that isn't there any other way, and there's literally no other way. It's already been decided, right? It's already been decided, and then like they kind of shout and scream, and mainly actually Armin, the crybabies that are shouting. Is there any other fucking way? Because well, it's a stupid thing. You're killing 80% of humanity for the sake of the founder titan. And wait up. We get it. We get the entire explanation at the end, or at least what I understood from it. All right. So just imagine this for a split second. Okay, imagine this for a split second that Eren and Ymir had kind of totally different motives from each other. Well, technically, the motive was Ymir's motive, and Eren was the person that carried it out, and the entire story's ending dependent on the decision that Mikasa took. And how did that depend on? Well, Mikasa know what's right for the world. Okay, so Ymir had basically okay. So I want to just fast forward. Okay, fast forward to the end of the anime. Before that, I'm just going to explain the scene a little bit. Is that well? They just keep Armin just keeps on crying, and then Armin kind of tells Eren that okay, you're destroying the world. I'm also a sinner, right? It was me that during our childhood I showed you the book that connected us to like the worlds outside and whatnot. It was me. It was my fault. So Armin takes upon his blame that Eren's gonna die, that's for sure. And then Armin says that I'll just join you in hell. If it does exist, then yes, we'll see you again in hell. I think this was literally the speech. And like that's the last time they talk with each other as friends. Okay. If you didn't at least get sad in this part, you're not human or you didn't understand the anime at all. At all. Or anyways, I'm pretty sure everyone's watching it. And then Eren does ultimately erase Armin's memory. And I think Armin says that they're like, we'll suffer an afterlife, like in hell, because we just kill 80% of him. He's just casual about it because I think the scene contains that huge amount of depression that they're not even sad anymore. They just don't care at this point because man, I've done the damage. It's done. I put the scar in there. I'm just gonna die and go to hell anyways. So let's just live to the fullest, at least for that brief moment. And this is such a wholesome moment. Okay, this has got to be the best scene of 2023 out of anything. Best scene apart from Messi winning the Ballon d'Ors and all those awards out there. This has got to be the best scene of 2023. Best. Anyways, and then they have the wholesome moment and they hug each other. And oh my god, this is the scene where you cry. This is the scene where I cried. All right, I'm actually getting goosebumps while actually watching it again while I'm speaking to the microphone. But oh boy. Okay, so now I just want to fast forward because then Eren erases, Armin's and Mikasa's memory, and then also Eren had a conversation with every single one of his, survey corps. All right, every single one, even Reiner. He even had a conversation with Peak because after everything ends, Peak's like, I wanted to chat with him because that actually signifies that he even had a conversation with Peak on, why he's doing everything. So yeah, he had a goodbye speech with everyone. It's just like they weren't like, because if they remembered it, I'm pretty sure that Mikasa's decision would be kind of altered. Okay, now let's talk about why was Ymir there? Okay, why was Ymir there? So at the very end of the scene, Mikasa is just flying away with let's say Ymir's, like, with Eren's head, and then they meet Ymir. So it's then revealed that King Fritz, I think the name was King Fritz. Hopefully, I think the name was King Fritz. Ymir killed King Fritz. All right, he wasn't like attacked or like he wasn't the one who actually, like, Ymir wasn't the one who actually got sacrificed to protect the king. Okay, Ymir wasn't the one. The king was killed by Ymir, and then Ymir is the only one who's just spending down his Titan bloodline. All right, like, she was the one who was obviously producing the Titan kids, and the reason for that, well, that's just love. Like, Ymir actually liked, or loved King Fritz, and then like, his reign was actually destroying people, was demolishing people, and then Ymir just killed it. But again, she wanted to test our hypothesis. Okay, this is the craziest part of the entire event. What I understood, King Fritz was ruling with injustice, using the power of the Titans, thanks to Ymir, because she actually loved her. Okay, by the way, before I actually continue, Ymir actually was actually kind of hot. Like, yeah, look at her. I think she was hot. Yeah, she looked nice. Like, now I can see her full face. Like, her full face is shown. Yeah, she is. Okay, never mind. Okay, moving on. Spot for Ymir. King Fritz ruling the world with the Titan's power, which was not justified, right? It wasn't justified. And then we come to where Ymir kills the king, but now she is unsure that was my decision right? Is there people around the world? Is there generations around the world? That's going to be following Ymir's footsteps. So Ymir was the one who actually passed down the Titan bloodline, and she was doing it out of love for King Fritz, but she was doing this to justify her decision, because she didn't know that if there is people or in the world, around the world, or in the future, in the generations upcoming, that is going to be sacrificing everything, all right, including love. Okay, that's the main story over here, including love, to save humanity, literally humanity. Ymir planned to kind of demolish the entirety of humanity. It was just the perfect timing with Eren and Mikasa's era. So Ymir put her trust in Mikasa. That's the decision. Because you see that after Mikasa kills Eren, Ymir is actually smiling behind him. That means Ymir understood that my decision was right. There are still people around the world who is going to be sacrificing everything, especially sacrificing love, in order to go ahead and protect what really matters, what the precious memories that actually humankind that humankind has developed. All right, the main thing's life, and that's the entire purpose of the entire story. All right, the history where Ymir was killed is wrong. Her bloodline wasn't passed down. She deliberately did it to see the outcome, whether like, there is someone, or is her decision justified, that she killed her loved one for the sake of the humanity at that time. And finally, after generations, Eren was the one, and Mikasa was the one that she could trust and give her decision on. All right, so that's the most amazing part of this story, because we can see the main characters are kind of floating around everywhere. Okay, the main foundation, the founder Ymir, like, the founder Ymir was like she founded the entire story. The entire story was behind the purpose of it. And then the story was written by Eren because he said the past and he said the future to allow Ymir's plan to work successfully. And Ymir was just aiding, right? Because he knew that the ultimate outcome was going to be the genocide. But how the outcome would be achieved was actually up to Eren. And that's how Eren decided it. Maybe it endangered his friends in the process. Maybe his friends couldn't survive. Maybe Mikasa couldn't survive. But Ymir knew that the decision ultimately depended on Mikasa. So I think Mikasa would have died. Probably Armin would have died or someone else would have died. But the gist of the story is Ymir. All right. The founder Titan founding the entire story. All right. Let's now move on to Mikasa, where this is going to be the final saddest part of the entire story. Oh my god, she's crying. She's freaking crying. This literally brought tears into my eyes. All right. Like, God. This was the saddest part, man. Oh, and the song. Oh my god. It was amazing. Literally. All right. Now I want to just end the conversation with okay, I'm not even playing the scene where Mikasa's crying. I'm literally getting goosebumps. So I'm just gonna fast forward to the fact that Mikasa passed away with a natural death. And there is a very good conclusion that did Mikasa die marrying someone? Speculated that he did oh wow. I speculated that she did end up marrying Jean or John or John, depending on how he's actually pronounced in Japanese or in English or in German, whatever it is. Or did she actually die single? Because there's a lot of questions to be raised. Unlike the manga, during the ending credits, the scenes are way too small to deduce that if it's actually Jean or not. In the manga, yes, the scene does look like that it's Jean. The back of the head is, I'm pretty sure that 90% sure that that's Jean. And then the ponytail is Mikasa's because we ultimately see her with the ponytail at the end of this entire series. And there's a kid. Whereas that scene is not shown in the anime. Rather, her death is shown in the anime, which is not shown in the manga. Okay, the last panel where Hajime actually said it in Twitter somewhere that he actually got a chance to kind of write some of the ending panel, like draw some of the ending panels. And I think these are the changes because I have to kind of go back to my shelf and pick up on manga because I mean, Attack on Titan is one of the only mangas that I actually physically bought. I bought the books to read them. They're actually lying behind me. If I had a camera, to show you, but let's forget about it. And the second outcome from the anime that I understand is I think she died single because according to Google, the white lilies that she's holding or the white roses, I think these are white roses. They do look like white roses. Does signify in I think because I'm actually Googling it. Correct me if I'm wrong in the description or I mean in the comments or anywhere in DMs and Instagram, whatever. Just correct me if I'm wrong in the description. That in Christianity, apparently, it signifies or it's a cultural significance that if you die with a white rose, it's a sign of purity, and she died single. All right, so it actually raises the question. She doesn't even have a wedding ring in the image that shows that Mikasa, passed away. I mean, someone had to put the roses over there, but I mean, she had friends. Come on, so like that's one of the things, and I'm pretty sure she died single. She's still wearing the scarf that Eren gave her. That's the same red scarf. It clearly is the same red scarf. She's got the white roses or lilies on her, and she has no wedding ring. So I'm pretty sure she passed away single. I'm pretty sure about that. And it does contradict the manga, manga ending where she is seemingly with, kind of Jean. But I think the manga ending is kind of like it's kind of like a cliffhanger or a cliche because like she loved Eren with everything she had, and she never moved on from Eren even after like the entire anime ended. But again, it doesn't make sense that she would actually move on with Jean. All right, and I mean, come on, if you can debate me in the comments with this, probably I'm not going to respond to them because I probably don't know the perfect answer. But I know it's my gut feeling that Mikasa deserves someone better than Jean. He's a really nice guy, but I think he it doesn't go. Mikasa doesn't go with Jean. Mikasa probably goes with someone like smarter. I don't know, like anyone smarter. With Armin is more off suited with Annie. I'm pretty sure about that because it kind of shows, and I'm pretty sure they even married at the end. The cutscenes are way too small, but I think I'm going to be zooming in on Adobe on my editing app and just kind of like seeing that, like, who is that? It's actually very unclear. I tried my best to kind of deduce that with there because I have watched this in HD. Okay, the resolution is 1920 by 1080. I watched this in HD. The 4K thing or Blu-rays are yet not out. I don't know if in Crunchyroll you can only see up to 1440p, and AOT is only out in 1080p in Crunchyroll. That's actually a lower resolution than the version that I have downloaded to my computer. So yeah, I'm not concluding that Mikasa married anyone. So with that ending being said, and finally, at the ending, it's something that Hajime really nicely portrayed, right? This was signified by Zeke in the middle of the anime, where life is something that kind of that goes to any length. Life strives to survive. However, you'll probably get any obstacles will adapt to the situation, and the exact same thing happens here, right? Like right after the anime ends, there's this boy who enters the same freaking tree, or it's like a future Eren, but now that's like directly the founding titan. Yeah, like, and then it literally restarts from square one. All right, I think that's what this very last part of the thing is signifying. That this kid, kind of entering into this tree. I think that's what it's signifying. So the entire thing or the entire point after after Eren died. Okay, unfortunately, like even though Eren's dream was like the war is going to be pretty much over, unfortunately, after everything, the war restarts. Like war restarts, everything's destroyed, and then someone is going to be turning into a Titan again. It starts from square one. All right. With that, I'm going to just end the video because it's 2 a.m. at this point, and then you just let me know what you guys think. Okay, this is not a review; it's just my interpretation of the very ending of Attack on Titan. I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain the anime from the beginning, so I just skip forward to the end instead of reviewing every single kind of part of the anime, every single scene. I just like try my best. So with all that being said, I think you pretty much understand what I'm trying to say, right? That it's a beautiful ending. It's a beautiful ending. This ending, all right, this ending could have been better if it was simpler. But this wouldn't have been the great test ending. At least for all the animes I have watched, this is now in the first spot. Like before this, the first spot was Code Geass, at least in my opinion, or at least in my book. It again depends on people to people. But this is now in the top. This is like peak fiction. This is there. All right, and I think third I would say Haikyuu because I've read the manga and it was a very fun ending. So I'm just gonna put it in third. But anyways, this is just my interpretation of the entire anime, the entire ending and everything, and just let me know like how you guys interpreted it, or like if I made any mistake, or did I understand something wrong that should have been understood differently. And as well as I'll see you in the next video. Peace.